What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Today we have a beautiful, beautiful episode for you guys today, and we're talking about when's the last time you updated your feed, and we'll explain what we mean in a little bit. I'm Dallas Terrell.
I'm Jeremy Miller.
We are the Betterment Bros. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. As we said, we got a nice little episode today. But more than that, we have a nice studio. We have a nice life, and we're going to talk about it. What's up, Jerem?
Well, we finally have some blue skies.
We do. The bluest of the skies.
Yeah, it's like a nice, like maybe 73, 74.
Where's the AQI at?
The AQI is probably lower than that. Probably 40.
Yeah.
And so we've got nice temp, clear air, blue skies.
Good vibes all around here.
I got to tell you, man, I never thought in my lifetime I would take blue skies for granted.
Yeah.
Right? Or be reminded that I take them for granted, because
And here we are.
we had red, fucking
Orange hues.
terrifying post-apocalyptic skies for like 2 weeks, man. So it's nice to have a little blue out there.
Yeah, it's nice to not be trapped in a bonfire.
Yeah, dude. I like being able to open the doors and windows.
I like how we started our takeaways, we started before our takeaways with takeaways.
I do love that, dude. You ask me what's up right now, I'm just grateful, dude.
Yeah,
I'm just enjoying this awesome Santa Cruz weather. Like, Dal, that's the reason the rent's so high.
The rent is too damn high.
And it's because we pretty much get year-round perfect weather.
Yeah, I agree.
But I want to enjoy that weather.
Yeah, like we're paying.
I'm paying for this.
Like even during the smoke, we're still paying top dollar.
We're paying top. They don't cut you a discount.
No, dude.
When the smoke hits, dude.
When the sun's not out, you're still paying top dollar.
That's right, dude. Yep.
Fuck.
Yeah. Anyways.
Wow.
I'm excited for today's episode. I'm excited to talk about refreshing the feed. Mm-hmm. And what we mean by that is bringing awareness to our beliefs. What is programmed, what's no longer serving us, right? What are these hand-me-down beliefs that we pick up along the way? And when's the last time we stopped and refreshed that feed to see what all is there? You know,
Yeah.
It's kind of like every once in a while, Dal, you got to kind of rectify your credit card bill, and you see what's on auto pay, right?
Yeah, and see if you're still using it.
Yeah, man, because like, man, those little $4 subscriptions,
They get
dude,
you.
they add up.
They get you, man.
So you got to look at that sometimes. We're doing the same thing with our programming, Dal.
Yeah, we're kind of opening up the bank account and seeing what we really paid for.
Yeah, dude.
And see if it's still worth our money.
Yeah, because chances, there's a chance that we're going to keep everything.
For sure.
But maybe there's
It's
not.
good. Yeah, and it's good to know you still want to keep it. And
Boom.
why?
That's it, man.
Dude. Well, should we jump into some gratitude before we go? Like
Yeah.
some more gratitude?
Yeah, we definitely should.
Because I feel like that was gratitude for
sure. For sure.
But there's probably more.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, dude. I got it fucking, dude. It's at the very top of my mind.
Let's hear all about it, bro.
I went to the movies, Dal.
Dude, I'm so glad you did. Wow. That's really loud music.
I went to the movies. And I got to tell you, man, I hadn't been to the movies since March.
That's fucked.
For a guy like me, that is so long, dude. Mariah and I usually go to at least a movie a week.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's our date night. It's sometimes like our lazy Sunday, when it's not like super nice out. It's like, dude, let's go to the movies. Or if it's like too hot for the beach, like when we're at those 100,
95.
95, 100, and the air's not good, we're going to the movies, But dude, so on Friday, I saw Tenet.
Finally.
Saturday morning, I saw Tenet. And then I went into the theater next to mine and caught the first half again.
Really?
Yeah, and then Sunday we went and saw New Mutants.
Yeah.
Yeah, New Mutants was trash.
Yeah,
but
I wasn't going to pull for more on New Mutants.
No, that movie's trash, dude.
Yeah, if you
just
follow
skip
Jeremy
it.
on Instagram, at Jeremy Miller Group.
Yeah, GP. Jeremy Miller GP, yeah.
GP, yeah, GDP.
GDP, dude. That's
Granddaddy
me.
Perps.
Yeah, but dude, that movie's fucking garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Tenet.
Not Tenet.
Tenet is 10 out of 10. It's perfect. It's incredible.
I need to go see it, dude.
Yeah, you do. And when you go, let me know.
I was about to invite you to go watch it with me this weekend.
I'm in.
Cool. Let's do it.
Oh, well, Sunday I'm out of town. I just realized that.
Got it. Well,
maybe a Saturday night situation?
Saturday. Dude, yeah. We'll get more into that later.
Yeah, we'll get into that later off the air. But audience, if your theaters are open and you're okay with going and you're like, what should I watch? The answer is simple. It's Tenet, dude.
Yeah, and maybe even multiple times.
Yeah. Oh, dude, this is a movie that I'm not going to understand until I've seen it at least 20 times.
Yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong. It's a Christopher Nolan movie.
That's correct.
So that means a few things.
It means a few things. It means you won't be disappointed because he's never made a bad movie.
Yep.
It also means that it's a lot to be with. It's a lot to think about.
It's complex.
Yeah, he doesn't make it easy for you.
No.
This isn't a movie where you go in, zone out, and enjoy your popcorn, right? This is pulpy science fiction at its best, dude. And the first 10 minutes, this action sequence, I remember being like feeling this visceral feeling in my gut of just pure joy and excitement because of how incredible this opening action scene is. Like, I haven't seen, it's so fast and like pulse pounding action, and you don't know what the fuck is going on, but you're so excited, dude. And the score just rips.
It rips. Oh. And that's coupled with like being absent from any of that.
Yeah, for months.
Dude.
So like, dude, I had a tear in my eye at one point. I was like, this is the magic of cinema.
Yeah.
And only Chris Nolan could deliver that summer blockbuster that gives me this feeling. And I got it, man. That movie was supposed to come out on my birthday.
Dude, that's really funny you said that, because this will jump right into my takeaway.
Okay.
But as I was flying home from Cabo, I was out of podcasts. Only had one podcast saved on my phone for some reason. And for some reason, it was this like 26-minute episode we did about New Year's resolutions that we did for the Betterment Bros in January.
Oh, wow. I don't even remember it.
And you were, for some reason, talking about how you were super excited for 2020 because come your birthday, Tenet comes out.
Oh, my God. That's so funny.
So it's super funny that it came up. And I was like, I got to call it out. You know? Like, I just listened. That was the only episode saved on my phone.
Dude.
So I just listened to it, and I was pissed. The story gets better because I was pissed that it didn't come out.
Yeah.
And when I land, I get picked up by yours truly, Jeremy Miller GP at Instagram.
Yeah.
And he says, bro, guess what happened while you were gone? I'm like, what? The fucking state caught on fire?
Yeah.
He's like, no, the movie's open, dude. I'm going to see Tenet tomorrow night.
Yeah, dude. It's all I've thought about.
Full circle.
Cinematically for a while. And it is worth every confusing moment.
Damn. Well, I'm really excited to get into that with you.
Yeah.
For sure, dude.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And then we're gonna have to process after, I'm gonna assume.
Oh, dude, I still don't get it.
Okay.
And I've read and watched YouTube video. Like, I get it.
Right.
But there's so much
more to want to know.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah. Like,
it's like Interstellar.
Yeah.
We're like, I get what happened.
Right.
But like, what do you mean fifth dimension?
Yeah, like, hey, so I totally get the movie and shit, but like, what's a black hole though? Like, how the fuck does this work?
What was that shit with Matthew McConaughey just like floating in a clock? Like, what was that?
Also, like, what's up with that bookshelf? And why does any of this matter?
Yeah, and how does he know Morse code? Like, what the fuck, dude? You know?
Yeah, I forgot about the
I still got questions about that movie,
dude.
Yeah,
yeah, fucking Morse code. Anyway, bro, what's your takeaway, man?
Well, I mean, yeah, man. Takeaway for me probably is like, hey, dude, Cabo was sick. Vacation was sick, dude. It was so nice to just go leave the country, recharge, spend the time with family, girlfriend, go fishing, eat good food. Like, it just felt so nice to just kick it, dude.
Swim in the ocean?
Swim in the ocean for, oh yeah. I swam a lot, dude. I was almost in the water the whole time.
I love that, dude.
So all of that, dude, was just amazing. But what's more amazing is when you are just ready to get back to your life and the things that you do that make you who you are, because it's so good.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't escaping reality. I needed a small break to recharge.
Yeah.
So I could come back better.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't, most people kind of get like the blues.
Sure.
But with these last 3 years of my life, every vacation I've taken, I've been more excited to get back to what I've created for myself.
Yeah.
And I just think that's fucking sick, dude.
I love that.
Like I try not to miss that, you know?
Yeah.
I will add one thing though for our listeners. I did celebrate 6 years sober while I was there.
That's right.
And my mom got a private chef, dude, to make us fajitas. And they're some of the best fajitas I've ever had, man. And we had this like just this big family dinner, and they got me a cake that said sober, why sexy, like for Spanish, like sober and sexy, which I loved.
Yeah.
They made me virgin pina coladas,
Which I loved.
Yeah,
man.
For sure.
What's
dude.
not and dude, the sparkler on the cake.
Yeah, there was a fucking sparkler. I was like,
Yeah.
can I blow this out? And it was like a torch candle.
Yeah.
It was like, you don't blow it out, you wait.
Right. That thing was sick.
So we had that dinner, dude.
Yeah.
And then they got me a fucking piñata. We're in Mexico, dude. We got a piñata. And the piñata was a Pacifico Light beer can. And I have a 2-minute video of me trying to be crushing the fuck out of this piñata, which maybe we'll put on the gram, dude. It's kind of embarrassing. But I beat the shit out of a beer can with a tennis racket, blindfolded, to celebrate being sober.
And what
in
came
front
out
of
of
a
it?
bunch of people that were drinking. You know, like, it was just so funny.
Yeah.
And what came out of it, the best gift, $25 Chipotle gift card.
Okay.
A bunch of candy.
Yeah.
And my sister bought like $100 worth of scratchers.
Dude, so it's funny you say that because in my head, just knowing your mom and your stepdad,
Yeah.
I'm like, watch, he pops this piñata and it's just like $100 bills.
That would be sick.
You know?
Dude. How
but
sick.
like scratchers, you got the potential to, I mean, did you win any big money?
No,
now,
so
or?
my sister spent $100 on the scratchers and we only won 50, so she lost 50.
That's what I mean. That's better than losing 100.
Very true. And we scratched for fucking like an hour. All
That's
of us,
fun,
like
dude.
as a family, like
Yeah.
scratching, dude.
Yeah.
Watching just the addiction of scratching.
Yes.
Just like, give me another one. Give me another
Yeah.
one. Just happen real time. you know?
Everyone's just getting those dopamine hits, dude.
So many dopamine hits. Dude.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck. So that was my favorite takeaway of the trip, dude. Yeah, that was just fucking cool, dude.
That's
know?
sick.
Just like, and I had to like explain to like the private chef, like, no, dude, like I haven't drank or used drugs in 6 years, and like I'm celebrating that. And he's like, wow, like I've never cooked for that type of party, you know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What do we do?
Yeah, he's probably so lost.
Yeah, dude. He just like, I don't know. He didn't get it very much. But
Yeah.
he fucking cooked some bomb ass fajitas, dude.
Dude, that's dope.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's awesome.
So that's my takeaway, bro.
Yeah, the pictures are epic, man. I'm glad you had a good time down there celebrating. I'm glad that our audience got that TJ Woodward episode.
They did. We hope it landed well.
Yeah, I think it did, man. Of course, my only regret really is not having TJ in the studio.
Mine as well.
But we'll get him down here, dude.
We'll get him down here, dude.
He loves talking and being in conversation.
He really does.
So it's
and
not.
so do we.
And so do we, dude.
Honorary bro, dude. TJ Woodward.
That's
guest.
right.
Forever guest.
Forever guest.
Not even a guest, dude. Just
No,
forever.
Forever honorary bro.
Forever honorary bro, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is just so fun. Now, what came up for tonight's topic is, we've been talking about the divisiveness, kind of our divided society, social media, fake news, presidential election, COVID, wildfires, racism, fucking dude. I mean, wow, there's a lot happening.
A lot.
And, we were chatting about what are we going to talk about, and Dal used this term, hand-me-down beliefs, And I liked that a lot because, one of the things we brought up with TJ was, identity politics, assuming roles, right? And it kind of got me thinking, like, our thought, like we talked a lot about how we're not our thoughts, right? And that our thoughts are happening, but that's not us. We don't have to believe our thoughts, and we have thoughts, but they're just happening. And what we were curious about on the front end was, we have all these beliefs, but where'd they come from?
Yeah.
And like, say I hold the belief about something and someone on Facebook says the opposite, I feel automatically like I have to fight or argue because if that's their belief and this is mine, I have to be right and they have to be wrong. Because our ideas are a construct of the ego mind, so are our beliefs. And so we were kind of talking like, man, I mean, when's the last time we took inventory of what we believe and questioned that, you know? And so is that a pretty good lineup for the show there?
Dude, perfect preface. I don't think you could have prefaced it any better.
Prefaced, yeah, that's the word.
Yeah, you couldn't have teed it up any better, dude. And I think the episode will look a lot of us just kind of riffing on it, maybe giving some examples and kind of just cueing the audience to take a deep dive themselves.
Yeah.
Hard to offer solutions to what you don't know is there.
Right.
But at the end of the day, the investigation is what's important. The exploration, being with whatever comes up, good or bad.
That's right.
So that's kind of where we're at, you know? And I think the reason I like that wording, hand-me-down beliefs, for me, is because it insinuates that they're old.
Yeah.
It insinuates that they were like given to you or passed down to you. And it doesn't necessarily mean they're good or bad either.
That's right.
Like, how many hand-me-downs did you get that were fucking epic?
A lot.
That were your favorite?
Oh, yeah.
Like, hey, my dad gave me this hat.
Yeah.
This is my favorite hat.
Yeah.
But then there's like, oh, dude, like, my sister gave me that toothbrush.
Yeah.
And, like, it was kind of fucking gross.
Ew, gross.
So it can go both ways.
For sure.
And it makes it safe to see both.
Yeah.
I think.
Well said. Yeah, well said. I mean, you know, it's like it's a very uncomfortable curiosity.
For sure.
Because, you know, like for example, when all the BLM stuff happened, I was like, dude, I'm not racist.
Yeah.
But then I thought, you know what, like, let me be really curious, because I held beliefs that I recognized maybe weren't serving me any longer. And so it was like, fuck, I mean, man, maybe I should look at this.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I should genuinely look at this. And when I did, I found myself really wanting to argue my rightness.
Of course.
I wanted to assert my rightness. And that's ego, you know. And so when you slip beneath that and you say, okay, I believe X, does it serve me? Honestly, does this work for me? If the answer is yes, okay, cool in the gang, you know.
Right on. Keep it.
But if not, like, that's what we're kind of after. And it's not that you got to change who you are, because I don't really think that's how it works.
Right.
It's more about awareness.
Of course.
Right. Awareness is key, dude. We're not trying to change you or, you know,
or
like
even say you should.
Yeah, you are you. That's that. Right. And so it's just awareness, you know.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. And so maybe what we could do is, you know, look at some beliefs and of our own.
I like that. I think that's the best place to start, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think so. The ones that come up for me, I think the you know, there's like cultural beliefs. There's like the culture of like your family dynamic belief, right? Like the things, you know, that you do at the dinner table, or the things that you do because of religion, or the things that you believe based on politics. Like all of that were, for me personally, were handed down through like the family culture dynamic, you know, of like your parents being in charge, and the way that they see the world is how they want you to see the world. And that's not implying that it was good or bad. It just was, right? I made the decision later on to see if those were good or bad. But some specific examples, I think, for me, like religion for me wasn't pushed down my throat. My dad's spiritual. My dad's religious. He prays. I was never encouraged to pray or not to pray, which was cool because I had that agency to kind of decide for myself. We weren't forced to go to church, but my parents went to church. We were invited to come. We were invited to stay, so I like that aspect of growing up. I like those beliefs that were pushed on to me, that it can be what you want. as far as religion goes, for sure.
Right.
However, some more like political views, right? Like you hear parents talking shit about maybe a Democrat or a Republican or a president, right? Like you hear your parents say, that president, blah, 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 is a piece of shit. You just take that on as true. When I go around living my life, that, we'll say Bill Clinton's a piece of shit, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I have no idea why.
Right.
But my dad thought he was.
Right.
This is all hypothetical, by the way.
Yeah.
My dad thought he was. So now I think because Bill Clinton's a piece of shit and he's pissing off my dad, that I think he's a piece of shit too.
That's right.
And then even further from that, okay, Bill Clinton was a Democrat, so my dad doesn't like Democrats and I don't like Democrats. And all this shit that was like handed down to me, whether intentional or not, I didn't even start examining until 21, 22, 23. Still examine it, right? So I think those are good examples to kind of start with, or at least paint the picture of how those stay with you. But I will say, which I'm very lucky that I have 4 parents. I have a stepmom, a stepdad, a mom, and a dad. So I got to see double.
Yeah.
Right? So I got to see double the perspective. I got to see, my stepmom's Greek Orthodox. My dad was Christian. My mom was Catholic. And my stepdad, I don't think, gave a shit.
Yeah.
So I kind of got the freedom from them, too.
The whole spread.
Got the whole spread, dude, which has been super helpful for me.
Right.
But like what comes up for you as far as hand-me-down beliefs or that kind of thought, that kind of...
Yeah. For me, mine are going to sound like some Gary Vaynerchuk memes. But regardless, I thought that without an education, I'm a failure.
Right.
Okay, that was a belief I held for a very long time. Both my parents, my adopted parents, were very high achievers academically. Okay, so they're both very smart. All their families members are very smart, right? So, like everybody on my mom's side, lawyers, doctors, like famous athletes, like it's very elite.
Got it.
On my dad's side, big time computers, right? Like my dad was, one of the lead programmers for IBM back in when nobody knew who IBM was. And so there was always this belief that without education, you got nothing.
Right.
And it fucked me up for a long time. And so what ended up happening was, and by the way, I didn't go to college.
I was gonna pry for that, just to like paint the scene.
Yeah, I didn't go to college.
But I wanted you to say that.
Yeah, I started college 3 times, right? And girls and drugs.
Finish 0.
And so
I didn't go to college either, for the record.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And that's okay, dude. And I'm still fucking super successful without it. That's not so much the point. The point was that because I'd lived so long believing that, the pendulum swung hard the other way to where I would actually talk tons of shit about people going to college. Now, I do have opinions about college aside from this. But the point is that I swung so hard because of this belief that if I don't talk shit about college, that means they're right and I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, that means I'm stupid because I didn't go to college.
Yep.
Right? And so recently I actually asked myself, because everything I do, podcasting, web design, marketing, media, everything I do is self-taught.
Counseling.
Yeah, counseling, right? It's stuff that I've literally learned on the internet. And I asked myself, like, what's your fucking beef with college, dude? Because I've had this belief that college is bullshit, Yeah. And I actually asked myself, is that serving me? And not really, because people are seeking higher education the same that I am, just different modality.
Different route.
Yeah, and so that was one of them.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Another one that's a little closer to my heart, because quite frankly, I don't really give that one much energy. But,
Yeah.
When we got sober, you and I, and the way in which we got sober, medically assisted treatment is and was very frowned upon. And what I mean by that to the audience is, for someone who is addicted to opiates like heroin or OxyContin or Percocet or, fentanyl. Painkillers, there is medication they can take to where those drugs are no longer effective. And the theory is that with that replacement, there's no craving for heroin. And so anyways, in a lot of recovery circles, it's a very divided issue where, people will say, well, you're not really sober if you're doing that stuff. And for 10 years, I thought that stuff was the enemy. And I would opinionate as such. And it was very much so a hand-me-down belief.
Yeah.
I was told and taught that modality of treatment is ethically and morally wrong and ineffective.
Yeah.
And so I'd fucking fight people about it all the time. And until I questioned whether or not that was continuing to serve me. And the answer is that it wasn't.
Yeah.
And
just closed you off.
It really did. And so
that's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one because I got called out. I got called out by people that know more than I do.
Yeah.
And challenged. And instead of fighting back like my ego really wanted to, instead of being right, I wanted to be curious and finally say, okay, dude, you know what? I'm actually going to listen to your argument. I want to listen. Yeah. I'm going to hear what you have to say. And it completely changed my perspective. 100% changed my perspective. And of course, like anything on this planet, in excess, used in the wrong hands, anything can be turned from a positive to a negative. But there's a place for it. I really believe that.
So you're talking specifically like methadone, Suboxone,
Subutex,
Vivitrol, all that stuff.
All that stuff. There's a time and a place.
For sure.
And for the longest time, I refused
to accept that. Right.
And it was a hand-me-down belief. And now I'm like pissed.
Yeah.
That I spent all that time fighting for something that wasn't organically my own.
Yeah.
You know
what's cool though? You saying that, it brings up how much like hand-me-down beliefs are in recovery in general.
It's the worst.
It's like pretty crazy, dude.
Yes.
It's pretty nuts.
It's nuts.
Most people believe the way they got sober is how you do it because it worked for them.
Exactly.
And it's like very polarized.
Very much.
That's actually funny you brought that up because that's, for our people in recovery or, trying to get sober or abusing or whatever. Like most people know, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. It's so polarized.
It's very polarized.
You need oh man, I'm just going to say, you and me are both part of this group on Facebook. I think it's called like Addiction Recovery Support or something like that.
There's hella members.
And there's maybe like 200,000 people.
Yeah, at least.
And it's nuts because these people will post like where they're at in life or whatever, or like ask for feedback. And it's always like, you need to do this.
Yeah.
You need to do that.
Yeah.
People will be like, man, struggling so hard over here, just relapsed, life's crumbling. And there's people yelling at you, find Jesus.
Yeah.
Find Jesus. Find a sponsor. Talk to someone.
Yeah.
You're dumb. Go to a meeting.
Yep.
Go to a meeting. And then after that one, go to another one.
Yeah.
And it's just like these hand-me-down beliefs that were given to them when they entered recovery.
Yep.
And it worked, so it made it valid.
Yeah. It has to work for them because it worked for me.
Right.
And it's really, and it's when you look at like polarized discussions, I'll give you another one, dude. And this is a hot take here, Dal.
Oh,
okay.
Mics are fucking warm.
We just turned on the griddle, dude, and I got fucking 2 gallons of pancake batter. Okay. We're eating good right now, which is a really weird segue into this topic. Abortion. No, but for real, like for the longest time, and just hear me out before you guys grab your pitchforks, okay? Before everyone's about to burn down my goddamn house, just hear me out. I, for the longest time, am pro-choice.
Mm-hmm.
I am pro-choice. And I had never, ever, not once considered the other side. I'd never even heard the other side out because I was so entrenched in my pro-choiceness.
Yeah.
Then I started to really think about it. Okay. And when you think about like development, the way human beings develop, our prefrontal cortex, where we make decisions and base all our rationale, it's not fully developed until late 20s, early 30s. That's why when you're young, you do stupid shit. It's not your fault.
And it makes sense.
It's your brain's bunk, dude. It's both. But so I had never thought about the other side, Dal. And the thing with abortion, and this is why I love this topic, is because there is no right answer.
Of course.
There is no right side. It is not yes or no. It is complicated.
Absolutely.
But I had never, ever given the time of day to the opposition. Why? Because if I did, that means I'm wrong.
Or you're a baby killer or something.
And I can't be wrong. I can't be identified as anyone other than pro-choice 100%.
Yeah.
But now when people ask me, nobody asks me, but if somebody asks me, right, I'm not going to be like, I'm pro-choice and that's that. I'm going to say it's a really complicated issue.
So, yeah.
If I'm voting pro-choice, right? It's not my fucking call, dude. As a human being, however, do I see the other side? 100%. 1,000%, dude. And that's why there's no coming out clean.
Yeah.
Right? It's like trying to pick the best Quentin Tarantino movie. You know, no matter what you pick, someone's going to be like, yeah, but what about Reservoir Dogs? And you're like, fuck, you're right.
That's really good too.
And that's the thing. And
but
so
I can only watch one.
Right, exactly. And so so the point isn't so much like what side am I on? It's how willing am I to be curious about what my belief is, and more importantly, where it came from. Right? Because I hadn't given the time of day to the other side because the pro-choice influence came from my parents, my closest friends, my girlfriends, right? I'm not going to square up with any of them, dude. You know what I mean? With the girlfriends, it's not worth the fight. With my parents, they know everything. With my friends, I don't want to seem like the odd one out. You know what I mean? And so that belief was ingrained.
Yeah.
Right? And it was literally like 2 years ago, Dal. I'm 34 years old. At 32 is when I questioned that belief. Now, I still believe relatively the same thing, but I'm just so much more aware of what my belief carries with it.
Yeah, and I'm sure you don't like reject the other side now either.
No way.
There's almost probably, I would assume from my own experiences, that there's way more compassion and understanding
100%.
and like just empathy towards the other half.
Absolutely.
And they're not so crazy anymore.
No, and that's the thing, and that is a really, really important point that you just brought up. The minute I label that person crazy, the minute I say that side, the opposition, the anti-vaxxers, the anti-maskers, I'm removing the humanity from human beings.
Yeah.
And I'm assigning to them a label.
Right.
Which is really inherently flawed, and here's why. So say I'm having a conversation with Timmy, and Timmy is super pro-life. And I'm pro-choice. And I say, well, you're just a baby killer. Well, no, he's a human being. But I gave him this label. And because I gave him this label, he's no longer human. He's a baby killer, right? Now, no matter what I do and no matter what he does, I see him through this lens of you are a baby killer. This guy could go on to write the most important book on mathematics the world has ever seen. And I'll say, yeah, it's too bad he kills babies.
Yeah.
And that's flawed. That's very flawed. And that's judgment, right?
Yeah.
Judgment is looking at another human and assigning a role to them based on what they do, not who they are.
Yeah. And how you perceive them.
Exactly. And that perception stays with me, right? So it's like, so it's one thing to look at Timmy and say, that is like the way that he's screaming at me as I'm on my way into Planned Parenthood.
Mm-hmm.
That is very, that is on, as far as consciousness goes, he's not awake yet.
Yeah.
That is an observation, right? But if I say Timmy is a piece of shit, Timmy is a baby killer, that's judgment. And so when questioning what we believe and what we hold and these hand-me-downs and where they came from, tied into that is also this belief we hold about other people.
Yeah.
These judgments that we have. Do they serve? Does it serve me to look at him like a baby killer?
Yeah.
You know, the unconscious part of me that doesn't give a fuck about anything will say, nah, fuck him, you know? But if I'm tapping into me and who I'm here to be, I can look and say, wow, like, you know, there's someone that definitely holds a different point of view than me, but he's a human being just like me.
Mm-hmm.
And wherever his belief came from, he's got it, you know, just like I do.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's thick.
Super thick. That's a great example too. I mean, we got into some good examples just by being organic, which I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a trip, man. I think it's a trip. And I think what I was curious about is what prompted, just because you've given specific examples and you painted a picture where it took you close to 12 years to finally question the pro-choice in you.
Yeah.
Is there anything that helped you through that or was helpful in prompting that? Like, can you identify others that helped you, or like a change in yourself that allowed a different perception to be seen? What was helpful for that?
Yeah. Two things. The first of which is social. So I don't think this is so abstract anymore, but social media serves you what you, what am I trying to say? Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, all the Google, all the algorithms will serve you more of what you're already getting.
Yeah.
Right. So
The Social Dilemma, if you haven't seen it on Netflix, go out and watch it.
yeah, I haven't
It'll
watched that
explain
yet. It looks banging.
It explains everything you just said.
Yeah, it's been going on forever.
Right.
Right. Social media forever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's confirmation bias, right? And so for me, when around 30, I started really considering the other side of things. Mostly because I was running around, you know, tooting my horn, being an asshole about everything, and people were calling me out. And so I was like, maybe I should take a look at this, you know?
Right.
So I had to like really question that shit.
Yeah.
But
because you were getting called out.
yeah. And because it wasn't serving me.
Yeah.
Right? Because I couldn't argue my own beliefs anymore because they weren't really organically mine.
Right. They were handed down to you.
They were hand-me-downs. And so it was that and this journey in spirituality, dude. I mean, that's really it, right? And, you know, people hear that and they're like, oh, the woo-woo shit. No, dude. Spirituality, all it is being in touch with who you are. That's it. That's all it is, dude. Is being curious. What is behind all this stuff? What's underneath all this stuff?
Yeah.
Not behind it. Behind it sounds...
These flesh and bones.
Yeah, like what's under... Like if you cut open my brain and look in every single cell, you don't find my personality.
It's true. I haven't done that, but I'd assume.
Consciousness is beyond the body.
Mm-hmm.
That's something to be fucking curious about, you know?
Yeah.
And so for me, I remember hearing this story. It was like right when I met TJ Woodward. And it was this story about a Zen master, right? And this guy had been practicing up in the mountains with the Zen master for like 5 years. And he wasn't getting it. He wasn't enlightened. You know, he was still in the future, in the past, blah, blah, blah. And so he decided to leave. And so he said, Zen master, what is my assignment when I go back out into the world to continue to try and discover my essential nature of who I am? And the Zen master said, for your homework, everything that happens, anything that happens, your response will be, thank you for this. I have no complaints whatsoever. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, and the guy says, that's it? That's my practice? And he said, that's your practice, but you got to mean it. You can't say it like, thanks God, thanks universe. No, thank you. I have no complaints whatsoever. And the reason that practice is so powerful is because it is 100. It's only possible if you're 100% in the present moment, if you're right now, right? And it's basically an acceptance of what is. And if you accept what is and stop trying to bend the world to fit your perception of how it should be, not how it is, you're happy.
Yeah.
Right. And so when I learned about that, it started it. And then I kind of, okay, what is making me unhappy? One of the things on that list was all these beliefs, like these automated responses I have to things. And only by questioning where they came from and why I have them was I able to get rid of the ones that no longer served me and strengthen the ones that do. That's kind of a long answer.
Yeah, but it should be long because it's not an easy process.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good direction to go too.
Yeah.
You know, is it's not easy to do this. Most people probably don't. Or when it happens, it's like, something catastrophic happens that forces you into reevaluating.
That's right.
You wake up in a hospital and you're like, fuck.
Yeah, someone
what
dies.
am I doing?
Yeah, someone dies.
Totally.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You re-look at all of that.
Or someone just serves you up a plate of
fuck you sandwich.
Yeah, you take a bite and you're like, maybe I am being an asshole about this.
Right.
And that sucks, dude. That sucks to admit. Like I have a very hard time admitting I'm wrong. I really do, dude. I have a hard time not asserting my rightness all the time. A piece of me does. A piece of me struggles with that. And so the practice isn't like, walk around ignoring the world, right? Or like, saying the world is a crazy place. That's not judgment. Right? The world's a fucking crazy place, right? But if I say that guy is crazy, that's judgment. And so for me, it's a matter of like awareness. That's all the only thing that changed is awareness. Like I'm not happy in my life. Why? What am I doing or not doing that is causing this unhappiness? And I had these like automatic responses to things. And I'm like, why do I do that? Like, that's not even me anymore.
Like hey, what's up, Jeremy? And you're like, living the dream.
Yeah.
And you don't even like give yourself enough space to see how you're actually doing.
Right. Or like people bring up, healthcare. Right. And I'm like, yeah, no, it should be privatized. If this company does it better, like they should do it better. Only when I was like totally at the fucking shit end of the healthcare stick did I realize like, wow, this system kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And everything I've been saying for the last 8 years is total bullshit.
Yeah. It was like the best analogy was the Michael Bay Transformer shit, dude. That's like that was a belief that you handed to yourself.
Yeah.
And we do that too.
Dude, we do.
We make decisions 10 years ago that we still believe today when everything was different.
Yeah.
And you're different.
That's right. And a lot of times beliefs that we create stem from projection, right? Like, so I'll give you a really embarrassing example. Dude.
Fuck yeah.
And if anyone from my past is listening, this is going to get interesting. But so like 10 years ago, 13 years ago, I had a girlfriend and we had
nice, man.
I know, only one in my life.
Yeah.
But we had a terrible relationship, dude. It was terrible.
Yeah.
I was a piece of shit. She wasn't the best. And, anyways, Twilight,
great series,
and The Dark Knight came out around the same time. And she was reading Twilight, as was every
girl,
young woman at that time. And men, I'm not trying to be sexist out here. Don't fucking tweet me. But it was making my blood boil. And so I went on this rampage, dude, for years.
Against Twilight?
Against Twilight. About how like, and I was also like really into horror movies at the time. So like vampires don't twinkle in the sunshine, which I still hold to that because that's true.
Right.
But I would hate on these movies and books with just this relentless passion. And this lasted for years, dude. For years.
I know. I believe it, dude.
Right. And then one day after this breakup, one of my gay buddies was like, dude, you know what you should watch? And I was like, what? And he was like, Twilight. And I was like, or no. What happened was I watched oh, what's that movie? It's got Kristen Stewart in it, Adventureland. And I'm like, damn, I really like that movie. I like Kristen Stewart. And my gay buddy's like, you should watch Twilight.
Because she's in it.
Because she's in it.
She's the main girl.
And I felt it. I felt the argument coming. All my automated responses that I've been saying for 5 years, I felt them all coming up. And I said, let me get that movie, dude. Let me see what's up. I watched it and I loved it. I loved it. And I've looked at that a lot over the years because I feel like such an asshole because she was enjoying this culture phenomenon and she couldn't enjoy it for 30 seconds without me coming in being an asshole about it because of these fucking beliefs.
Yeah.
B, what I've learned is that those beliefs were 100% a projection of my own insecurity. Because while Bella, you ever seen Twilight?
I have, yeah.
While Bella's torn between Edward and Jacob, these two awesome ass dudes.
Both awesome in their own ways.
They're awesome in their own ways. There's fucking fat, greasy, alcoholic Jeremy Miller, dude, who's worth not a goddamn thing, just pissing away his life being an asshole to everybody, right?
Watching your girl be like, oh, they're both so hot. How do you pick?
Yeah, and knowing that, like, as dudes, they were way better than me, and I could be a good dude like them. I could be, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
And therefore, I had to hate it. I had to make it wrong so that I could be right. You see?
I do.
And that lasted for years, dude.
That's a beautiful analogy. That's just a beautiful story, actually.
Beautiful. And dude, I'm going to be real with you right now. I just ran that
trilogy
that
again?
marathon.
You loved it?
Yeah, I mean, they're not great movies, dude.
They're not the best. They're a little older.
I'm into it though, you know?
Yeah, dude.
And I'm happy to report that when I see Edward and I see Jacob, I'm like, I think that each of them could benefit from a lot of inner work, you know?
They could, dude.
I don't sit here and see about how
they got hand-me-down beliefs from being vampires and being werewolves. Like,
Boom.
werewolves are supposed to be this way, man.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to fucking hate you.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to share chicks.
Dude, that's it. See, that's a multi-layered win right there.
This
I'm
is
glad I pulled
Nolan
that
episode.
I'm glad I pulled that example.
You did, dude.
Yeah.
This is why we work so well together.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, final thought for me
Yeah.
is, so this concept came from a book that I was reading, The Road Less Traveled. Great fucking book.
Yeah, I need to start it, dude.
Great book, man. How about I just finish it and give you it?
That would be dope.
I got like 20 pages left, dude.
That'd be dope, dude.
Yeah. There's a lot in that book about love, too. And I have a book club about it, and it's so funny, dude, because the discussions are so charged. Because it's like, what if religion is a mental illness? People are like, what? You know?
Yeah.
It's like crazy shit like that. He's a therapist. He's like, what if you should fuck your clients?
Right. Oh,
shit like that, dude.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like the curator of the group, you know, but I'm also a curious man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And we just like, we don't go to battle, but we have conversations, dude, that are
like
heavy
that.
and
I
that
like
are fucking awesome. And the one I really liked with the hand-me-down beliefs was how he tied it to religion. And he painted a bunch of like really crazy like case studies of how religion like caved people in and how religion saved people.
Yeah.
And so that was cool to kind of go back and forth. And he showed both sides of how religion ruined and saved, and then made a case how religion might be a mental illness of just like assuming these beliefs from fucking 2,000, 10,000, 5,000, whatever, that many years ago, right? That, and this is all just kind of from the book, not my own personal views or beliefs, but there's these 10 commandments of things that you shouldn't do, you know? And I think about that, right? Like there's 10 things you shouldn't do that's been passed down, that's been handed down and reiterated and telephoned, maybe even from so long ago, dude.
Yeah.
So long ago. And like, how could we put ourselves in that small of a box to this day?
Right.
Of all the things that you shouldn't do or all the things that you should do. So that kind of tracking it back like that lands well for me, because it's just so easy to see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so easy to see, and you could see how people just pass those on.
For sure.
And then we were born, and our parents like, yeah, there's 10 things, these 10 commandments, like you shouldn't do or you should do.
Right.
And that's it. And
Yeah.
no one questions it because it's gone on for so long.
Yeah.
And there's no agency, there's no independence outside of that, you know?
Right.
And I just thought it was cool, dude.
Yeah.
I thought it was a cool fucking concept. And he also made another point in the book on how, like, we all have, like, our own religion.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And religion can be whatever it wants, whatever beliefs
Yeah.
you want it to be.
Absolutely.
And he said that one of his biggest, the most, what's the right word? The most interesting topics that, the most interesting conversations he would have in therapy sessions is like asking people like what their religion was. And he found himself oftentimes telling people that weren't religious that they were.
Yeah.
And explaining to them what he's hearing their religion sounding like.
Oh, I like that.
Which was super fucking cool. He
Yeah,
said,
that's
sounds
dope.
like your religion is like just like a dedication to truth.
Yeah.
Sounds like your religion is just like more scientific.
Right.
And the facts.
Yeah.
Or emotion or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? And coining your own beliefs as your own religion and not assuming these hand-me-down ones.
Yep.
When things were way fucking different.
Yeah.
100, 200, 300, 5,000 years ago.
Right.
So I like that, dude. Like, that's
Yeah.
what I like to sit with.
I like that.
And then applying it to yourself and see where it fucking fits the mold.
Yeah. I like that, dude. I like that a lot.
That's my final
Yeah.
thoughts, plural.
Yeah, that's dope. I think mine is final thought on hand-me-down beliefs. I think it's this, man. I think for me, I don't want to speak for everybody listening, but for me, I notice that I am happier. Let me give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people say don't live in the past, right? I agree to some extent. But like one of the beliefs that I've had that I still have a really hard time with is that my happiness is, what am I trying to say? The ratio of happiness and money is very relative.
Mm-hmm.
More money I have, happier I get. Happier I get, more money I have, blah, blah, blah. And
They're
the
super
two of
tied
them,
to you.
the two of them are tied together to each other. And I challenge that by proving myself wrong. So I look back to 2013. I had no money, Dal. My income, my monthly income was $900 in California.
Wow.
I had no money, bro. I had a beater car. I didn't have 2 dimes to rub together. And I was so happy. I was so happy, dude. I am happy. I'm happy now, but I'm
Still
just saying
happy.
it proves it wrong. My little ratio, it proves it wrong.
Yeah.
How could
Your
I be
belief,
happy
yeah.
if my 28 grand a year, are you kidding me? Like fucking dude, what? And so anyway, what I recommend for this is look at your past, right? And look at times in your life, look at trends, look at things you've done for a very long time and just be aware of them. Don't challenge them or shame yourself for them or talk yourself out of them. But look at one and say, does this serve me? And if not, bring awareness to it. You don't have to stop,
Yeah, and then
but just
watch.
be aware. Watch it. Yeah. And one thing I know about myself is that change is very hard. Change is very unsettling, whether that's internal or external. Oftentimes it's harder internally, I think, unless there's, like you said, a drastic event, breakup, death, big move, got fired, but if I look at all the big changes I've had to go through in my life, I'm always better on the other side. And so with hand-me-down beliefs, it's so relieving to shake some of them off. I don't have to assume that identity anymore. I don't have to have that conversation anymore. I don't have to fire off my automated responses or beliefs to this XYZ situation. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You can simply just be with it and be curious. Oh, I'm curious about that. That is so much lighter. If I have a backpack and all my beliefs are in it, right? And they're heavy, dude. At 34, I got a lot. If I could lighten the load a little bit, I'm up the mountain faster. You know what I mean? And so my advice is to be really gentle, and it's fun and it feels good, and it's like shedding your skin and constantly, like you mentioned, like always changing our experience, right? And I think that is really important. That's the draw of questioning our hand-me-down beliefs. The process is simple: awareness, awareness, awareness.
Yeah.
No shame, no judgment, just awareness.
It's just like refreshing the page, dude.
That's it, man. Just
like, that's a very neutral thing.
Yeah.
Refresh the page.
Yeah, and not only does it feel good for you, but goddamn does it do well in company.
Of course.
Like, dude,
makes the world a better place.
Nothing has challenged my own beliefs than when I'm firing through my automated responses and I'm met with,
Wow.
And I'm like, what's up? No, I'm just really processing. I'm just really curious. And you're like, oh shit, that's kind of nice. So when you're in that state of curiosity and awareness about hand-me-down beliefs, you're a lot easier to be around.
Yeah.
And that's not to say you can't go out and affect change in the world. It's just that you're being the change you want, not the change you've been told to be. And that's dope, dude.
Hand-me-down change.
Hand-me-down change, dude. Yeah. So that's that.
That's that.
I didn't read anything off my notes today.
That's better.
But what's funny is that
we got there.
I did have my Twilight story on here.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I didn't think we'd get there.
Yeah.
But organically we got there.
It showed itself, dude.
That's sick, dude.
What needed to be said was shown.
That's it, man. Yeah, so that's our episode on hand-me-down beliefs, you guys.
Yeah, let us know what you think. If you want us to get into it more, or if you want to talk about yours with us, you need advice, strategy,
I would love
help,
that.
whatever.
I would love that. Yeah.
We don't have all the answers, but I have this belief that I have some.
Yeah, me too. I believe we have some.
I believe we have some.
And if we don't have the answer, we have really good questions.
Yeah, to help you find the answer.
Exactly, dude. Yeah. That being said, you can find us online at betterment-bros.com. You find us on social. We're at Betterment Bros. Yes, we have a Twitter, Dal. I tweet sometimes.
Tweet.
Mostly just our new episodes. What else? What else do we have?
Tweet. We're pro-choice.
Oh, shit, dude. We'd get some more attention.
Get some followers,
yeah,
dude.
we would get attention. That's for sure, dude.
Write in problems, death threats, whatever.
Yeah, write us in, you guys. Write us what you think. bettermentbros@gmail.com. Go to Clean Cause. Visit Clean Cause. They're at Clean Cause. Clean energy drinks with clean caffeine, clean ingredients, and 50% of the profits support getting people into treatment for their addictions. We love them. They're incredible. Also, you can go to shieldclothingco.com.
That's shieldclothingco.com.
For shirts with masks built into them. Guys, I know it sounds crazy. Go to their website, check it out. If you use code BETTERMENT at checkout, you get a discount, which is dope. And, it hooks the bros up a little bit too. So.
Yeah, and it supports our good friend Dane Berg, dude.
It supports a buddy. It supports our communities. It saves your face, supposedly. I don't know the science on it. I'm not a scientist, dude. And I got no hand-me-down beliefs about it. Okay?
Me neither, dude. I know I'm not a scientist.
Yeah. I wear a mask. I forget it all the time. If it's built into my shirt, I forget it less. That's what we know.
That's it, dude.
Boom. So that being said, I guess we'll see.
Just sign off.
We'll sign off, and we'll be here next week. I'm Jeremy Miller.
I'm Dallas Terrell.
See you later.